Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been such a long time since I last filmed.
If you're new to this channel, my name is Nirali and I'm currently a third year medical student at Plovdiv Medical University. If you want to know what it's like to be a medical student in Bulgaria, then keep watching.
So in today's video, I'm actually going to be doing a question and answer session about what it's like to be a medical student in Bulgaria. A few days ago, I actually put up a post on my Instagram and asked all you guys to ask me some questions. So the first question that I got asked is, how did I apply to medical school? Now, when you want to apply to Bulgaria, there is a lengthy process that you have to basically go through with getting all your documents like notarized, translated, and like certified. You can do it separately, so without the use of an agency, but I think it will be pretty much the same cost. I decided to go through an agency, one, because I had no clue how to go about and get all those documents translated. And I wanted it to be done properly so I didn't have any mistakes when I put my application forward. So I decided to actually go through an agency. Now, the agency did everything for me. Obviously, you have to pay them. There's a set charge that they charge their customers, but with that payment that you make, you basically get your application done and then more. So the next question is about the entrance exam. How hard is the entrance exam? So the entrance exam, there's two parts at Plovdiv Medical University. I'm not sure about any of the other universities. So at Plovdiv, you have a biology paper and a chemistry paper. I can't remember how many questions there are exactly, but they give you 2 hours to do both the papers. 2 hours is more than enough. When I sat my entrance exam, I finished both papers in 30 minutes. It is very simple to kind of get through. On the university's website, they actually have sample papers for both biology and chemistry. I think they have about 4 or 5 papers each, and your agency, if you do decide to go through an agency, will provide you like a resource bank, and pretty much all the questions that I had in my exam paper came from either my agency's resources or the past papers that are on the medical university's website. So the questions were legit, like word for word copied, so it wasn't a problem. Obviously, I'm saying that now because I'm actually in medical school, but when you're actually sitting the exam in person, I do understand it is the most nerve-wracking thing, but I want to assure you that there is plenty of help that you will get for the entrance exam. So the next question is, how did you find an apartment? I actually found my first year apartment through my agency. So they kindly organised some tours for us around different apartments, and I ended up selecting one of the apartments from them. So getting an apartment is kind of similar to how students would find housing here. So obviously there's a deposit you pay, there's an agency fee that you pay to the agent for doing the work for you, and obviously your rent that you pay. It is very easy to find an apartment, I would say. Like, I don't know a single person that kind of doesn't get an apartment by the time university starts. So the next question is, what are the grade requirements? Now, to study medicine in Bulgaria, you actually need a passing grade in your A-levels, which is basically an E grade and anything above. I actually had BCD for my A-levels, and I applied with those A-levels that I had. I know some students who have like CCC or DEC, or as long as you have above an E grade, it is perfectly fine for you to apply to medical school. I am not sure about BTEC qualifications though. That's something that you would have to personally check with either the university, or if you get in touch with an agency, I'm sure they'll be helpful. Is the qualification transferable to the United Kingdom once you graduate? And the answer is yes. So if you actually have a look on the GMC website, you can actually check the accreditation for each university. If you type in Medical University of Plovdiv, it will come up, meaning that the course is GMC accredited and it is transferable back to the United Kingdom.
So after graduating from an international medical school, you have to take the PLAB exam, and there are 2 parts, part 1 and part 2, and you have to pass both parts in order to be put onto the GMC register.
So it says, from early 2024, international medical graduates who would have sat our PLAB test will have to take the MLA if they're applying for registration with a license to practice in the UK. So that basically says that if you're graduating from an international medical school, whether that's Bulgaria, Romania or Czech Republic, you will have to take this UK MLA exam, which is the medical licensing exam. And UK medical students who are graduating in 2024 will also need to pass the MLA test. So it's not just for international students, it's for both international and UK students. The course is obviously transferable. You just have to make sure that you pass these tests to get onto the GMC register. So the next question is, what is it like to actually practice as a doctor once you graduate? Now, obviously I haven't graduated yet. I'm still in my third year, so I still have another 3 years to go, but I do know a few people who have graduated from medical schools in Bulgaria and who are now practicing FY1 doctors here in the UK. There is a program that was introduced called the Gateway Program, which these Bulgarian medical students apply through in order to get positions here at hospitals. I don't know the exact process, but if that's something that you guys want to know a bit more in depth, I can surely arrange that with a few of the FY1 doctors. So the next question that I had was, if I do the Plovdiv entrance exam in May or June, how long does the final ranking last? Sorry, how long does the final ranking take? So Plovdiv Medical University has, I think, 6 exam dates for the entrance exam. So May, June, July, 2 in August and 1 in September. The final ranking is always released, I believe, during the 2nd week of September. So regardless of when you take the test, your final ranking will only be told to you during that 2nd week in September. So it doesn't matter if you take the test earlier or if you take the test later, you will all get your final ranking at the same time. So the next question is, what is the dropout rate? We have a lot of students leave, not because they failed the year, but we also have, as well as English students at the university, you also have a lot of students from Germany and Italy. Now, for the German and Italian students, the Bulgarian degree is transferable. So after first year, you can actually transfer back to your home country, which you can't do for UK students, unfortunately. So I wouldn't say they're dropping out, they're literally just transferring universities. So our cohort in our first year was around 300 and it dropped by 50 after first year. We did have a few students fail out of medical school, and the reason because of that is you're only allowed to carry over 2 exams into your first year. So if you fail more than 2 exams and have not cleared them by the September liquidation period, then you basically need to repeat your first year. So a lot of students either do repeat their first year or they drop out completely. The next question is, can you understand the lecturers? And the answer is yes. All the professors speak English. Every single professor speaks English and it is fluent enough to understand. So this question is, was it tough leaving your family and friends? And the answer is yes, it was so tough. Going to Bulgaria was a bit difficult at first, but I can say that being there for a length of time, it's kind of gotten easier along the way. I have a very good support system in Bulgaria. It makes it easier knowing that in Bulgaria there's other students who are around you who are in the exact same boat as you, so we kind of just comfort each other. It does make me a bit sad because I'm kind of missing out on my milestones with my friends here and missing out on their milestones too, but I think the end goal's worth it in my opinion. So the next question is, are the professors nice? Now, there are some professors where you do not want to be on their bad side at all, and there are some professors who are very lenient. I think when you first start medical school, you will kind of get that impression off of your professors. Within the first week, you'll kind of see what kind of a professor they're actually like, what kind of a person they're actually like, what they will tolerate and what they won't tolerate. So I would recommend not getting on the bad side of any professor, because you want a professor who's going to support you and help you. You don't want to get on the professor's bad side. Do you come back to the UK often? So in my first year, my first semester, I don't think I came back at all, even though I was very homesick. But we have a lot of mini exams throughout the semester, and I came home as often as I could. A lot of students either come home like once a month, either for a weekend. We have a lot of national holidays as well, so like random public holidays where students will get like a 4-day weekend and kind of fly out. But yeah, like a lot of students come home as often as they can. I know some people that come home like every 2 weeks, or you know, some people who don't go home at all for the entire year. So it kind of depends on how cheap the flight is and do you have the time to actually go home. What's the timetable like? So when you initially get your timetable, it is going to look like a cluttered mess. So you actually get assigned a group when you go for your enrollment, and in your timetable you kind of need to sit there with a highlighter and fish out what classes you have for what time. Unfortunately, in Bulgaria, certain classes will start at 7:30 a.m. Also, if they can't work around a timetable, you will sometimes have Saturday classes. Fortunately for me, I have not had any Saturday classes, but I know a few friends who actually have had to go in for a Saturday class, and it is pure hell. So another question that I get asked a lot is it hard? Now, as I was saying before, the entrance exams for medical school are very, very easy. However, the actual course content is not easy. I think that's a misconception people have about studying abroad in Bulgaria. A lot of people assume that the qualification isn't as good as a UK medical school, or it's so easy, so medical school's not actually challenging. Those are all false. I can tell you that from experience. The entrance exam is so easy to get in, but when you actually start, you're so overwhelmed with the amount you actually have to learn. It is so tough to stay on top of everything. It's not hard, don't get me wrong. It's just very intense because you have to juggle multiple subjects, multiple course exams at the same time. So it is intense in the sense that you're so overwhelmed. You're literally going from one building to the next, and it's so intense, but it's not hard as long as you stay on top of it. I think a piece of advice that I would give you is do a small amount very often so you're on track for everything. Another question that I get asked is, what is it actually like to study in Bulgaria? I personally think it is such an amazing experience to be able to go and study abroad. We have a lot of trips organized by student events in our university. We have ski trips and nights out and day trips around Bulgaria. A lot of us go to Turkey. I've personally not been to Turkey yet, but I have a few friends who have been to Turkey. You can literally just take a coach. There's also a coach to Greece. I think the adventure you get from studying abroad, you kind of can't get that anywhere else. I think I've pretty much covered every single question that I was asked. I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who submitted a question. I'm sure this video will be beneficial to a lot of prospective students that want to apply. If you guys have any questions about anything, whether it's the application process, or if you're an actual student at Plovdiv Medical University, if you're in your first year or your second year and you need any help, please feel free to leave a comment down below or DM me on my Instagram. I will leave all the information for my social media down below.
If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I promise I have more good content coming your way.